This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for waking up with WKYT on your Wednesday. I'm Andrea Walker.
I'm Bill Bryant. It sure is good to have you with us. September 21st, the last full day of summer. Fall, here we come.
Now at 6, violent protests overnight after a man was shot and killed by police in Charlotte.
We'll have the latest from there. We also have new details in the murder case of a pregnant woman in Lexington. Find out who police are now wanting to talk to.
And it's time to roll up your sleeves, but not just because it's going to be hot outside. When and where to get your flu shot coming up.
But it is going to be hot outside as
But
well.
it's still going to be hot.
Even though it's going to be fall tomorrow, Micah.
That's exactly right, but it's not going to feel like it. We're seeing temperatures roughly 90 degrees again today, Thursday, and on Friday. But I'll tell you what, humidity's down. I mean, yesterday we actually reached the upper 80s in some spots, but because of humidity being down, that's helping us out big time, and it doesn't feel that bad. 61 now in Rowan County, 59 coming in Lexington. We're at 87 by the afternoon. That's exactly where we finished off in some spots yesterday. And the focus of the forecast is not so much the next few days. The next few days are pretty boring forecast. I mean, it's an easy forecast. It's going to be dry. It's going to be warm. Boom, you got that. But what about the weekend? Because there will be some changes. I'm going to show you that with that cold front coming up in about 10 minutes.
See you then. Let's get right to the news. City officials in Charlotte are calling for calm this morning after the fatal police shooting of a black man has sparked violent protests overnight.
Relatives of Keith Scott say he was shot by officers while reading a book in his car, but police tell a different story. They say he had a gun. Michelle Chamberlain is at the alert desk with details and overnight developments. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning. Overnight, demonstrators knelt down with their hands up along a Charlotte roadway, steps away from officers in riot gear. But the moment of peace was brief. Here's an aerial look. 12 officers were injured during last night's protest. Police fired tear gas into the crowd. Some protesters kicking water bottles and those cans back at police. Some even throwing rocks. We were told that some police officers were hit in the face with a rock. Now, all of this taking place following an officer-involved shooting. The shooting happened to Keith Scott. He was shot and killed by police in an apartment complex. Officers were there looking for a suspect with an outstanding warrant when they saw the 43-year-old getting out of his car. Police say he was not the man they were looking for.
As they engage him, he is armed with a handgun that we found on scene as well. Makes some imminent threat to them, and because of that, at least one of our officers fired.
Now, the officer involved has been identified as Brentley Vinson, an African-American on the force since 2014. He's been placed on administrative leave. Now, here's what the victim's sister had to say about the shooting.
They jumped out their truck. They said, hands up. He got a gun. He got a gun. Pow, 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 pow.
Authorities say they are interviewing witnesses as part of their investigation. Now, this incident comes as the Justice Department investigates the officer-involved shooting of Terrence Crutcher in Tulsa, Oklahoma last week. Dash cam video showed Crutcher had his hands in the air before he was shot and killed. Andrea?
Michelle, thank you very much. Another Kentucky police department will soon be wearing body cameras. The Bowling Green Police Department went before the City Commission last night to ask for $150,000 for the program. The city's mayor says police body cameras go a long way to create fairness in the justice system.
That creates a great deal of transparency for the community, for our law enforcement, for our elected officials to be able to evaluate those interactions.
Bowling Green's police chief hopes to buy the body cameras before the end of the year.
New on WKYT this morning, a Boyle County man was arrested in Lexington accused of abusing a 5-year-old child. Police say Bradley Moore was left in charge of the child while the child's mother went to work overnight. When she came home, police say Moore was gone, and then she noticed that her son was hurt. Police say Moore punched the child in the face multiple times and caused other injuries. Also new this morning, a hoverboard is being blamed for sparking a house fire in northern Kentucky. People inside the home in Florence said they heard a clicking noise and then found the hoverboard sparking. They picked it up and it exploded, starting a fire right in front of the home. There was some damage to the inside of the structure, but fortunately nobody was hurt in that situation.
New on WKYT this morning, police are looking for the driver who crashed into a Lexington officer's cruiser. Police say that officer went to Dairy Queen on New Circle Road near Russell Cave to check out an alarm. While there, they say a car with a flat tire pulled into the parking lot. The officer went to check on that driver when police say the car sped out of the lot, hitting the cruiser. Police later found the car abandoned and realized it was stolen 4 days ago. This morning, police hope new details will help them catch the person who shot and killed a pregnant woman in Lexington.
Mariah Coleman was gunned down about 2 weeks ago while she was walking her dog along Winburn Drive. She and her baby died at UK Hospital. Some of the new details in this case include the description of a man seen running from the scene. WKYT's Lauren Miner is live at Lexington Police Headquarters with the details on that. Lauren, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. Well, new information in the shooting that killed Mariah Coleman and her unborn baby is giving the family hope that an arrest will be made soon. Now, police do say that Coleman was an innocent bystander when she got shot and while out walking her dog 2 weeks ago. Police say they are still trying to figure out who is responsible for the shooting. They did recover a gun near the scene, which has been sent off for testing to determine whether or not it is related to this case, rather. Witnesses told police that shortly after the shooting, there was a young man with dreadlocks and a cast on his arm running from the scene. Now, with this new information being released, the Coleman family hopes to find the man responsible for Mariah's death.
The mother deserves to know whether it was an accident, whether it was on purpose. The mother deserves to know.
Now, Lexington police have not named any suspects in this case, but they are asking for anyone with information to please come forward. Reporting live in Lexington, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
Lauren, thank you very much. There will be a fundraiser this weekend to help the family of a Lexington gas station clerk who was shot during a robbery. Charles Moore was shot Saturday night at the Marathon on Lansdowne Road. We're told the veteran is still at UK Hospital and is said to be recovering from several gunshot wounds. A fundraiser for Moore is going to be held at 10 o'clock Saturday morning at the gas station. Police have not made any arrests.
Well, while it still feels like summer outside, now's the time to think about getting a flu shot. You can get one starting today at the Lexington-Fayette County Health Department. Flu shots are $30, but you can get a free flu shot next month. The annual event will be on October 20th at Consolidated Baptist Church on Russell Cave Road and at Southland Christian Church on Richmond Road. So if you can hold off, you can get a free one, which that sounds right up my alley.
But then you might be taking your chances too. I don't know.
That's true.
Hope we don't have an early onset, this year.
For all the cheap people out there.
Exactly. But yeah, get it done. It's a good idea. 6:07 is our time on WKYT this morning. Let's check weather on this last full day of summer. It will be autumn tomorrow, Micah.
That's exactly right. At 10:21, you're going to be seeing fall slide into place, but it's still going to feel like summer the next few days. We were in the 60s outside early this morning. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris. Thanks for joining us this morning. 59 degrees here in Lexington. Frankfort coming in at 60 degrees, 421, and Main Street looks really quiet early this morning there in Franklin County. We slide through your day. We're at 87 degrees. It's going to be exactly like what we felt yesterday and the day before. So it's really not all that bad because humidity is still down. So it's actually a pretty good feel outside. For tomorrow, your first day of fall, looks pretty good, but it's still going to be warm, roughly 90 degrees. And that is the same exact story for high school football there. But the good news about this day on Friday is it's nothing like last Friday. Last Friday, we had a couple of rumbles of thunder roll across the region and cause some problems, some lightning delays. Nobody, and I mean nobody, will have a chance at rain there on Friday. So high school football looks good to go. You have no problems. What about these big festivals? You got the Fort Herod Jazz and Art Festival. That's going on in Harrisburg. Burgoo Festival off into Lawrenceburg. You got the World Chicken Festival going on in London. You got a lot happening, and these are big events across the region. There is no reason to sit at home this weekend. Get out and enjoy. It's going to be a pretty crispy day. See what I did there, World Chicken Festival? Yeah, 90 degrees there on Friday, staying dry. I know you guys kick it off on Thursday for tomorrow, but it looks like Thursday is roughly 90 degrees. Same for Friday. Then look at Saturday into your weekend. This is when the big crowds come rolling on out on Saturday and Sunday, and it's perfect weather. You're talking 84. It's not bad. I know that's well above average, but that's still okay. We'll start to see a lot of that moisture slide on through, too. And extremely nice on Sunday at 80 degrees. Let's check out and see what we have there for the picture of the day. Just tweet it to me, Micah Harris WX. On Twitter, there is your shot outside. How cool is that shot? That's from James Starr, Triple T Dad 2000. On Twitter, he's one of our weather watchers. Appreciate that very much. He always sends me awesome pictures. That's a good looking shot. Sundown yesterday evening here in Lexington. Next 3 days, the summer feel. Off towards your weekend, it's more of bringing, at least closing in on that fall weather, as we'll be there in the upper 70s by Sunday, guys. 74 on Tuesday, Next Tuesday, some weather models are kicking out 69 degrees for a high. Not
That's
a low,
what we like to hear.
That would be cool.
So fall is not badly off schedule.
No, it's not. It's actually right on.
Yeah, just a couple of days here of a little more heat. Thank you very much. It's 6:10 on WKYT right now.
And each morning we bring you weather and traffic together.
Let's go check out Officer Don and see what's happening out there on the roads. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Inbound Richmond Road just past the circle. That's a stalled car, not a wreck, so we'll have both lanes open in the next couple of minutes. Winchester Road looks good. US 60, no problems from the Clark County line all the way to the Hamburg area. They're at 60 in Sir Barton. Getting a look outside, we'll show you what's happening as far as overall traffic view this morning. No problems inbound on Paris Pike, also Nicholasville Road. Live look at Nicholasville and Reynolds. That's courtesy of the Lexington Fayette Urban County Government Traffic Cam. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, and Officer Don and Deanne are out there on 98.1 The Bull. When you get in your car, you can listen in, have a good time on your way to work or whatever you're up to today.
And we have a good time here, too.
We do. And we have a lot more news coming up for you on WKYT this morning, so we hope you can stay with us here on Hump Day, your Wednesday.
Still to come, new details about the man accused in last week's bombings in New York and New Jersey, where police say he got the bomb-making materials.
And a new overtime law goes into effect in December. Why Kentucky and many other states are now suing to try to block it.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Welcome back into WKYT This Morning. It is 6:15 on your Wednesday. An officer-involved killing of a black man is sparking violent protests in North Carolina.
The Charlotte man, identified as Keith Scott, was allegedly shot in his car while reading a book, but police maintain that Scott had a gun. The man's daughter reportedly live-streamed the aftermath on Facebook for more than an hour. Donald Trump was in North Carolina, where he declared that African Americans are in the worst shape they've ever been. The Republican presidential candidate immediately came under fire for ignoring blacks were once subjected to slavery and to Jim Crow laws. Trump is facing rival Hillary Clinton on the debate stage in just 5 days.
Federal court papers give a chilling glimpse into what authorities say motivated the man accused of last weekend's bombings in New York and New Jersey. The documents say that 2 years ago, the FBI looked into Ahmaud Rahami, but came up with nothing, tying him to terrorism. Authorities say the Afghan-born U.S. citizen bought bomb ingredients on eBay and recorded a video of himself igniting a blast in a backyard. Well, Apple users are reporting a problem with the new iPhone 7. Some say they hear a hissing sound when they restore their iCloud data. From frozen screens to getting rid of the headphone jack, this is the latest in a series of disappointments for the much-anticipated new phone.
Remember, people think Apple is magic. People think that the products are made watered with unicorn tears.
That's an interesting theory, unicorn tears. Well, so far, Apple hasn't commented on this latest hiccup.
Our time this morning is coming up on 6:17 on WKYT. And officials from 21 states, including Kentucky, are suing the U.S. Department of Labor over a new rule that would make more higher-earning workers be eligible for overtime pay. It's set to become law soon. The measure would repeal the so-called white-collar exemption and more than double the salary threshold under which employers must pay overtime to their workers. The new regulation is set to take effect on December 1st. The head of the pharmaceutical company Mylan goes before Congress today to defend the cost of life-saving EpiPens. In prepared testimony, the CEO is signaling the company has no plans to lower prices despite a public outcry. The price of EpiPens has grown to $600 for a 2-pack, an increase of more than 500% since 2007. Well, many empty nesters apparently have travel on their minds. According to a British Airways survey, 40% of parents whose kids have gone off to college are now planning their own kid-free vacation, also known as empty nestcation, if you didn't know that term. 40% also said that they will be dipping into their savings guilt-free now that their children are out of the house. And now it is their time, right? And Baskin-Robbins is testing delivery with the help of a delivery company, DoorDash. The CEO says delivery is the future for both Baskin-Robbins and sister brand Dunkin' Donuts. For now, delivery is only available in Los Angeles and Chicago. but I'm sure Micah will be interested in getting that into Lexington soon. You know, a little pint of ice cream and a donut in the morning, right?
I know the Harris family really enjoys ice cream,
yes,
so there's a little glimpse into their personalities. Well, WKYT this morning, we're just getting started. Still to come, the First Lady gets some laughs and the President's expense. Her impression of her husband coming up in about 6 minutes.
Yeah, and this is one of those days you'll need that ice cream later on this afternoon because it is going to be warm, near 90 degrees today, tomorrow, and towards your Friday. But there are big changes in the forecast, and I'll show you that fall feel somewhere in there that's coming up.
And it is a beautiful start to the morning in Lexington, KY. Take a look there at Triangle Park this morning.
Beautiful.
Looks good. Keep it here on WKYT. Welcome back into WKYT this morning. 6:22 is the time here on your Wednesday.
It's a beautiful day.
It is.
About a dozen officers were injured during violent protests overnight in Charlotte.
That's what's trending this hour on WKYT News. The protests follow the deadly shooting of a black man by police who they say had a gun and posed a threat. Keith Scott was killed in an apartment complex on the city's northeast side.
Also trending, Lexington police say they recovered a gun the night Mariah Coleman and her unborn baby were murdered nearly 2 weeks ago on Winburn Drive. The gun is still being tested. Police say they also want to talk to a man with a cast on his arm who was seen running away from the scene.
We anticipate lots of sunshine again today and those temperatures climbing. Here is Micah.
Yeah, here's the reason why. Huge dome of high pressure right over central zones. Now, I would put it on the screen, but I just want to show you what's going on in central portions of the United States. Absolutely nothing. Where do we watch for weather to move our direction? The west, 99% of the time. Sometimes around here, we get it from the east. But 99% of the time, you look toward the west, and there's nothing going on. Reason being, huge dome of higher pressure right here. And what happens is, all this weather flows around that dome of higher pressure. And what we call this is actually, and it's not very active, we call this the ring of fire. So when you have a dome of higher pressure over central United States and everything flows around that, that's called the little ring of fire. So there's a little tidbit for you early this morning. Keeps us dry. Live Sky Camera. There's a shot outside. Things look really, really good. In about an hour from now, you'll start to see the sunrise. It's going to be a beautiful day. Emoji Cats looks good. And yeah, everybody's smiling. Everybody with the shades on again this afternoon. 87 degrees. So it's going to be one of those days that's just like the past few days. I mean, things really aren't going to change all that much. So what you felt yesterday is what you're going to feel today. Carbon copies of each other. However, that will change in the upcoming days, going up and going down. So we're going to have fall and we will have summer in the forecast. I'll show you that coming up in a few minutes.
Good to see those smiles, though, you know,
the
the sunshine.
On.
Yeah, for a while.
Yeah,
more.
we're rocking it out on the last day of summer. First Lady Michelle Obama made an appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, where she had some fun at the president's expense.
Well, she told a lot of things. I mean, the First Lady told Colbert last night that President Obama is really into gossip. But what really won over the crowd was her impression of him giving an answer.
He's like, well, no, I'm glad you asked that. Let me just answer that in 3 points. 1, and then 1A, and then 1A and B. And Sasha and I are like, oh.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good impression. The First Lady and the President now have just 4 months left in office. They also talked about what they're going to do after that. So
hey, she may be on the couch tonight, you know what I'm saying? Some tense moments for the staff at a hotel in Anchorage, Alaska.
You could say that. A bear tried to check in. No reservation.
Right.
Wildlife officials estimate the bear weighed more than 200 pounds. It was a shocking encounter that the hotel staff says they will never forget.
I've never been trained on how to kick a bear out of the lobby, so this is something I might have to work on a little bit.
He looked like he was at home up there, though. He didn't look scared. He's like, oh, hey, guys.
Walked in and owned the place.
Right. A photographer captured the bear taking a leisurely jaunt down the street before finally ending up at a cemetery about 4 blocks away. Maybe that's where he lives full time. Just trying to take a little vacation here, you know, before fall gets rolling.
He's probably like, hey, we owned this place before you guys got here, all
exactly.
right? You're on my territory.
Yeah, like I said yesterday, we had there's a bear in the woods story.
I know.
Yeah, sure there is. 6:26 is our time on WKYT this morning. It sure is good to have you with us early on your Wednesday.
When we return, how young is too young to teach your children self-defense? Hear from a Lexington instructor who is teaching kids as young as 3. That's coming up at 6:35. You can only see it on WKYT this morning.
And all of our top stories coming up just before that. Tonight's Powerball jackpot is $40 million. And Friday night's Mega Millions jackpot is $20 million. Keep it here on WKYT.